Hello, good morning, my loving students of class 10th B and F. I hope you are watching my video clips and listening the poems or chapters. And nobody has any doubt. Mainly from 10th class. 9th class they have a lot of doubts. They are new to me, isn't it? And the 10th class, you are enjoying your time. I think you are not going through your lessons. I told you, read thoroughly, daily you complete your work. And English language subjects you never bother about, but I tell you, English is the mother of all the subjects. Got it? Yesterday we completed up to stanza 2. Today we continue with the stanza number 3. Today I will complete this. After that I will give you the question answers. Question answers there are not so many. Only 2-3 answers are there. Some you can do it yourself. Yes. No problem, you can write, but go through it. And every end of the week I will give you some value-based questions. 8 marks questions that you do your homework in your own language. You can take a handbook from anywhere, but don't just copy down. Just read and understand, then write in your own words. Clear? Let me enter into the stanza number 3. For that, let me recapitulate. The last day we learned about the difference between a tiger who is in the zoo and poet imagines if this tiger is not in the cage in the zoo, what it would have been done in its natural habitat, that is in the jungle or in the forest. Third stanza, again we see the tiger, if it is in the natural habitat, how it enjoys its life. Clear? He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, bearing his white fangs, his claws terrorizing the village. We learned in the first stanza that this tiger, without any interest, just moving around the cage, a limited space there. The second stanza we saw, lurks behind a shadow and waits for a tiger to come to the a pond to drink water and jump over him to catch it. Third stanza also you see, it's a very good message also, one inner meaning also this stanza has. I'll tell you. He should be snarling around houses. Why the tiger comes out of the jungle and snarling around houses? Snarling means just warning the people, threatening the people around, to make an angry and warning sound. It produces a sound in an angry way. Do you know when it makes such kind? When this tiger doesn't have any food to eat, and no forest, no proper place to sleep. Nowadays, human beings cut down the trees. No natural habitat. That's why these animals are in extinction, disappearing. Then these animals, one day these animals will take revenge on us. When a tiger does not get anything to eat, no place to sleep, what this tiger will do, comes out of the jungle. Here this tiger, he should be snarling around houses. They break the boundary of the forest, come to the village, move around the houses at the jungle's edge. Edge means the boundary. Come out of their natural habitat and come to the village where human beings live. Bearing his white fangs. Fangs means long sharp teeth of some animals, here of tiger, very sharp on both sides. That is fangs, long sharp teeth, the front of the mouths of some animals. They show their teeth and his claws, very sharp claws, terrorizing the village, frightening or threatening the villagers, the people who are living there. So the poet imagines in this stanza what the tiger would be doing in case he failed to find any prey, any food in his natural habitat. He says that the tiger would be angrily moving around the houses in a nearby village. Then he would be growling, snarling, making such kind of threatening voice at the edge of the jungle near some village, and he would be showing his fangs, teeth, long sharp teeth in front of the mouth, and his claws while moving here and there in the village. So he would thus becomes a cause of terror for the villagers. Here the poet gives us a warning also. What's that? If we continue to destroy the forest and their natural habitat, they will be forced to run out of their places to kill us, to eat us. It's a warning for us. That is what is happening now. Come to the next stanza. But he is locked in a concrete hole. Again, we come back to the zoo. But he is locked in a concrete cage made of concrete. His strength behind bars, though he is a powerful animal, strong animal, no use of his strength here because he is imprisoned, he is locked up, stalking the length of his cage, moving around in a limited place of the cage, ignoring visitors. He doesn't want to see the visitors who come to see the animals in the zoo. He doesn't want, because he knew very well that these people are not going to open the cage and letting him free. No one will do. So he is very much irritated with the visitors. He doesn't want to see them. He doesn't entertain them. He is, I repeat, but he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. Concrete cell, I told you, very small. Here concrete means very small and unpleasant cage. Stalking, moving slowly and quietly in a threatening way. He's very much irritated. Seeing the people, he gets very much angry. So here the poet sees the tiger is locked in a concrete cell in the zoo. In spite of all his strength, power, he now lies imprisoned behind the bars. The tiger moves up and down very slowly, very quietly along the length of the cage. He moves in an angry and a threatening manner. He takes no notice of any visitors, because he completely ignores them. The reason is that none of the visitors thinks about the condition of this tiger, and they never think of releasing this tiger from this prison. Moreover, due to their presence, he hardly gets any rest during the day. Next stanza you will see, even at night also he is not able to sleep at all. Next stanza, last stanza. He hears the last voice at night, all daytime. During daytime, visitors come and go, can't take any rest, very much irritated seeing the people. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. He hears the last voice at night, whose last voice? The guard. Not only that, patrolling cars, patrol car you see here, the police people use it. They are envoyed, appointed at night also to see people are safe or not, any thief moving around or not. With the red and blue light, cars move around the city, every nook and corner of the street. We call their duty patrolling. Patrolling means to go around an area at regular times to check that area is safe or not. The patrolling cars and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Though the tiger is in the cage, his eyes are still brilliant bright. And with his brilliant eyes, he stares, he looks fixedly at the brilliant stars. That means he is not able to sleep even at night because of this patrolling cars, because of this guardmen, watchmen move around, all the animals are safe or not. So I explained last stanza. Due to the visitors, the tiger gets no rest during the day. Even at night, he remains disturbed due to the noise that comes from the patrolling cars. The tiger has lost all hope and feels very helpless because he is imprisoned. He thus stares at the brilliant stars shining brightly in the sky with his brilliant eyes. It seems that he is looking for some sort of comfort and hope in these stars. He doesn't want to get the light of this bright light of the cars, but he feels little comfort looking at the stars. So his brilliant eyes show that he still hopes for the day when he would be able to run free in the forest and live in natural surroundings. Here you might have noticed the word brilliant, brilliant. The word is repeating, it's called the repetition, poetic device, repetition. Velvet, quiet, quiet. Quiet is used twice. Brilliant eyes, brilliant stars, we call them, and just underline. I will give you that. You can write in the book or underline in the book or write in the copy. Repetition. And next one, alliteration. What is alliteration? Repetition of initial consonant sound in the same line. For example, he stops in his vivid strides. First stanza, stops. S. Another example, he is locked in a concrete cell. C. Concrete C, cell C. And the rhyming scheme is noted down. First, second and fifth stanza, it is A, B, C, B. Fifth stanza you see night, cars, ice, stars. Cars and ice matching. Other ice, S sound, E sound also there. That's why night is A, B, C, B. And all other A, B, C, D. All are different. Fourth stanza you see cell, bars, cage, visitors. All are different, that's why A, B, C, D. First, second and fifth stanza has A, B, C, D. Rhyming scheme is A, B, C, D. Other all. Third and fourth stanza A, B, C, D. I will give you the answers today. Write them in your CWA copy and also learn. Don't learn by heart, understand and learn. Read the poem thoroughly. You can learn the poem by heart. Okay? Stay safe and healthy. Have a nice day. Meet you tomorrow. Okay? Thank you.